Fairy Tail is back, and I know a lot of people are actually going to be upset about this chapter, but I actually think it makes a lot of sense, and I'll explain why. But first, I'd like to point something out that the artist did. The walls of that the panels are on in every single page are black when inside of Jellal, who's been consumed by the darkness dragon. Once you come out of reality, it then phases into white wall pages. So yeah, God Serena's magic literally affected the page color of the manga. So the story starts off with Jellal at a funeral, his father's funeral, when he's a little kid. And apparently Jallal's real name is actually Siegfried, which is both the character from Rave Master and also his doppelganger that he created to infiltrate the Magic Council. So Jellal tells his mother that he plans on going to the magic school so he can then grow up and become a member of the Magic Council. And his mother tells him that's expensive and he'll have to go to town, but he says he'll do it anyway and he'll even pay for it himself by getting a job. And the reason why he's going to do all that is because he wants to take care of his mother in his father's place. So he's a really sweet kid. That's when we jump to the town being attacked by the Zarif cult members, burning it down, killing every adult, kidnapping the children, turning them into slaves. Jellal sees his mother and he's running to her, but it's no use. She just gets stabbed in the back and dies. Of course, he becomes a slave. While as a slave, he meets all of his friends that he has. They all introduce themselves, and he's about to introduce himself as Siegfried, which surprises me still that that's his real name. But then he stops himself and he thinks, no, Siegfried wouldn't be in this prison. Siegfried would be in school right now, learning how to use magic. So it's like he actually created a split personality at this point. And I'm assuming this split personality manifests at this moment, because Siegfried was a real, and in quotes, real person that did do all those things and eventually became a member of the Magic Council. So yeah, I think Jellal at that moment split his consciousness, and so he introduced himself as Jellal. Now, I know that doesn't really make sense because he was already saying Sig halfway through the sentence, but the Japanese spelling for both Siegfried and Jellal are actually very close to one another, so that's why he was able to make that change. This is when we transition back to reality, and also the page transitions from black to white, where God Serena is basically just torturing Jellal as Jellal screams in agony. Yeah, so like he said before, the Darkness Dragon is a dragon of sin, and Jellal is just covered in a black aura that is just consuming his body. He's literally being devoured by his own sin, all the evil he committed in the past. And he's forced to relive every act of evil he committed back at the Tower of Heaven while it's slowly ripping him apart. But eventually he does get back to his memory of Urza. And he basically acknowledges that he's never going to be able to redeem all the sins that he was committed in his time, but he was able to find the light, find the good, thanks to Urza. And because of Urza, Jellal has finally made the decision to join Fairy Tail. About fucking time. It's insane just how many people kept telling him to join a guild, especially Fairy Tail, so he could be with Urza. He just kept saying he has to do right, he has to fix things, he's finally said he's gonna join Fairy Tail. It's about fucking time. And instead of Jellal being devoured by the Darkness Dragon, Jellal burns away the Darkness Dragon's power. And once more, Jellal puts forth Grand Chariot hand sign. God Serena mocks him, saying that he's already devoured that magic and it's not going to work. But Jellal puts up 2 more fingers, and it's now a 9-star attack instead of a 7, so he has 1 more star than God Serena has dragons to devour the magic. He literally just 1-ups him. And this attack is not Grand Chariot, no, it's Orion. And the power in this attack is fucking insane, because originally, Grand Chariot, it didn't just get devoured by God Serena's dragons. God Serena just tanked it first off with his body. It took no damage. He was talking through it, and then he devoured it with his dragons. This time, God Serena doesn't even have a chance to even devour it with his dragons, because his body is being fucking ripped apart by Orion. The absolute difference in power of these 2 attacks is absurd. And while God Serena is cursing Jellal out, Jellal regorges out his organs the way Acnologia did the same way. That's right, God Serena dies the exact same way twice. Jellal stands the victor. Okay, so a lot of people are probably going to complain that Jellal was able to beat God Serena on his own because God Serena is on par with Gildarts, which means there's a high possibility that means Jellal can now beat Gildarts. But this actually does make sense. And the reason why I say that is because Jellal has always been depicted as being stronger than Urza. And in the last arc with Diablos, it was already proven that Urza is on par with Gildarts. So it makes perfect sense. If Urza can beat someone who is compared to Gildarts in power, then that means Jellal has the ability to beat someone who is compared to Gildarts with power. I'm sure a lot of people were more accepting with the Urza thing because we actually got to see her slowly develop through the 100 Years quest to the point where she is now. But that's because Urza is a main character, and so we get to see her developing. Jellal, all of his develop happens off screen, so that's just how it's gonna go. Same thing with Loxus. Loxus all of a sudden was a fucking god. We saw none of that coming, but it happened. So yeah, I'm actually pretty cool with this. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up so you can enjoy more Fairy Tail and other amazing things. Thank you and have a great day.